All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, July 21st, 2021. Market's modestly higher, about 0.5% on the S&P, quarter on the Dow, and NASDAQ flat to negative on the day, although perking up a little bit here. So we're getting some major news today. Obviously, Robinhood announcing IPO. And actually, market's getting a pop since that announcement. But so this has been very highly anticipated, obviously. And to me, it really serves as sort of a Tower of Babel indicator. Um, it's one of those highly anticipated IPOs. I think there was one or two of those in the 90s. I think maybe Yahoo, or the inclusion of Yahoo into the SP 500 was a big like topping indicator. But these sort of Tower of Babel indicators, it just is kind of throws, add it to the pile of all sorts of things that are signaling red flags. Like, we talked about the skew index. The VIX is the only one really hasn't pushed through and made new lows to me. That's the one that I really think is going to be the major last indicator to fall, is when the puts just leave the market. But there's all sorts of indicate forward PE ratio to GDP, the bull bear ratio. There's all sorts of uh, you know indicators that are flashing that we're at major tops, but this is another one just added to the pile, but very interesting. We'll be watching to see when that does IPO, what the market does, if there is some type of sell news event. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. We are seeing in copper here, I posted this earlier on Twitter, it's kind of in danger here of losing this 100 moving average. And when it does that, I think this chart's partially broken here, or at least there's some technical damage. You see this maintain this uptrend really since last March. And yeah, hasn't really had any correction. But I think if you close, you confirm below this 100 moving average, really you're now vulnerable there in that space. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on, as copper can be a leading indicator. Speaking of leading indicators, let's talk about crude really quick. So crude gapping up today, having a nice push ahead of OPEC. We'll see what happens there. Again, I think crude is into a lot of resistance here. That doesn't mean it can't hold up for a little while. It's a monthly time frame, so but there is a lot of resistance in the $75, $80 area. So I think crude is going to you've basically gone straight into that without any sort of correction. So to me, crude's going to do some backing and filling here. And I'm not looking for like a crash or anything, but I think you are now in a higher trading range. But maybe OPEC, maybe we get some type of sell the news event with OPEC as well. Who knows what they are going to do? There is you have to think about, there's pressure from presidents and so on OPEC as far as recovery. If the price of oil just keeps exploding and exploding, that's going to hurt recovery. So perhaps OPEC may finally increase production a little bit there. So that's something to think about. So leading indicators we were going to talk about here. Dow transports getting a nice pop today, but again, under pressure here. Now, if you get back above this red bar high, transports can go up and make new highs, but until then, the chart's remaining under a little bit of pressure. Again, it's strange to see it not bounce more hard, or get a more robust bounce off of this trend line. If we pull back here, and we go, this trend line really goes back to May of last year. You got a really nice bounce off the first time, and this time you got an initial pop, and then you're kind of just sideways here. But you get back above this red bar high here, and it probably, well, at least has a chance to go back up and attack 15.6 area to 16,000 area, and possibly the highs. But until then, it's still under a little bit of pressure. Also, semiconductors negative today. Probably why the Qs are down. It's just had a nice run off the lows. Got through that double top. Not surprising to see it take a breather there. But we watch the semiconductors for a leading indicator as for the overall market as well, not just for tech. Let's take a look at JP Morgan here. JP Morgan, again, I use this as sort of a benchmark for financial stocks. Again, under pressure. We had that news about the bank dividends a day or two ago. Hasn't really given much of a lift to the sector, honestly. Still holding in this kind of pattern here, stuck under this red bar, the XLF, same kind of deal. Still under a little bit of pressure, but it could be consolidating to make a move up, so we'll keep an eye on that. XLE also having a nice bounce today on the back of OPEC, but again, this does look like a bit of a distribution pattern here. You have this bullish consolidation which failed. You had a nice distribution here, then they let it back up for air, and then they sold again. So we'll see if they continue selling in this 55, 50, $56 area. If that comes back down again, and you take out this pivot, it could be vulnerable to a correction. So just keep an eye on that. Another stock I've got on the radar here, I've been talking about this for a potential short, Cloudflare. Maybe running away from me a little bit. I was hoping to get it above 106. I like this topping tail, and again, I'm waiting for the weekly close anywhere in this range. I'll take a shot at it, but hopefully it doesn't run away from me too quickly. Tomorrow there should not be a lot of volume. We're going to have the jobs data, which should be a good number because they're posting it before the holiday weekend. If they were to hold it and post it after the holiday weekend, then that would tell you that's probably going to be a bad number. So to me, I think the market's going to like the number. So maybe the stock can hold up if the rest of the market gets a bid, and that could give us a shot to short it. Yeah, outside of that, we're just watching that. Apple, you guys know I unloaded this yesterday and pulling back a little bit here, but we'll see. We'll watch for pattern. If this gives us a good pattern, we can always re-enter it on the long side. But yeah, I just wanted to take profits there as we knew we were coming into resistance, so that was a smart move there as we were pulling back today. The Chinese stocks a little disappointing. IQ coming under pressure, though, getting bounced off to 20. Want to see it make a higher low here. If it does that, then it's in really good shape, and we'll eventually push through and try to attack 18. YY Joy here, a little disappointed again yesterday, but actually made a lower low today. This thing looks like it's being shorted by some type of fund, because every time it gets this push, it just gets an algo sell. Look at yesterday, it was pretty much, this is just a sell program all day long, really. And same thing today, but it is into really good support here. I do like this level. So, and it is on a weekly chart. So, I mean, this level could hold. Maybe it gets a little bit lower, but you got a ton of support in this range here. So, I still like this, and it is a relatively small position. So, not anything too crazy. If it goes a little bit lower, it shouldn't hurt at all. Let's see, just scanning through here. Yeah, let's just pull up the dollar really quick, and then we'll get out of here. Dollar index, another strong day. So there's a divergence building. I mean, I showed you guys the bullish divergence on the dollar index on the MACD, but there's a divergence now. I mean, look at where the dollar is, where the dollar was on May 26th versus where it is now. And then you look at the spiders here. Yeah, total divergence. So, I mean, you're much higher on the spiders, much higher in tech and everything else, but dollar is still pushing higher. So again, you know, the market can ignore these things for a while, but eventually we're going to come to a bit of an inflection point, and we'll see that come to a head one way or another. Still looking for that another. I want to see that one more push lower on the VIX to really flush out the bears and get everything. You know, we're not quite in blow off mode yet. We could be getting there. We're getting close though, getting close. So we'll watch that very closely. But anyway, you guys take care. Have a great rest of your day. We'll keep an eye on the dollar index. We'll be keeping an eye on that OPEC meeting and any news on that Robinhood IPO as well. All right, guys, take care and have a great rest of your day.